Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is my review for Big Brother 16, Episode 7. Wow, is all I can say about this episode. Devin, seriously, he should not be HOH right now. He definitely cannot handle it. It is clear he cannot handle it. He takes things way too personally. He likes to control the house, and I'm sick of Devin. I'm sick of him. I don't know what he's like outside of the house. I don't have anything against him personally. But seeing him in the game, he is an asshole. He really is, and he needs to get out of the house because honestly, he's a psychopath. Definitely, he's a psychopath and he needs to get out of the game. Now, this video, I'm not only going to talk about some of the things we saw in this episode, some of the crazy things we saw in this episode, but also some of the things they didn't show, particularly about Brittany and him, which I'm going to talk about, that they did not show on this episode, probably because the censors and everything like that, they didn't really want to show because it's really inappropriate what he said. So yeah, so let's just get to this episode. So basically, this whole episode is just insane, and I knew it was going to be insane because, if you guys don't know, I do read what happens on live feeds before. I can't pay for live feeds because they're expensive, and I don't have all the money. Like, seriously, I'm not rich, people. But basically, I don't have all the time to watch it, so I do read what happens on the live feed, so I knew some of the stuff that was going to happen in this episode. But in the very beginning of the episode, Devin's all happy because he's still HOH, and a lot of people are actually not happy about it. They're really upset about it. Not Nicole, Hayden, and Christine, though. They're really happy because Nicole and Hayden are safe, and Nicole and Hayden are both very happy about that, so that's definitely a good thing, and I'm happy for them because I like them as players. I think they're good players in the game. They're not rude or anything. They're just fun to watch, and I like that about them. And to anyone who says they're not floaters because they have an alliance, so they're not floaters. We'll talk about some floaters in a second. But basically, Caleb and Amber are really hitting it off. We can really see that Caleb really likes Amber. They're really hitting it off. And you know what? I'm happy for him. It's, he really likes Amber, and he's done the right thing. He's taken it, he hasn't, basically tried to stalk her or anything. He's been pretty nice about it. He told her that she's very sweet and everything, and she seems to like it back. So I feel they're going to have a showmance. I definitely feel like they're going to have a showmance. I'm going to talk about something big that happened between them in a second when we get to, what happened, after this episode that they didn't show, either before or after this episode that they didn't show. But it just kind of shows how much of an asshole Devin is. Now, Devin in this episode is like a ticking time bomb. You don't know what he's gonna do, where he's gonna go. Like, they're playing, like, horror movie music whenever he comes up. And I don't blame him because it's terrifying. All the girls are terrified of him. And Amber kind of brings up to Caleb that she's tired of seeing Devin, cutting her off constantly. Because as you know, when she was HOH for, a couple days, he kept cutting her off. He didn't let her say anything. He didn't let her plan out anything. It was all what he wanted, and that's why it happened, because it was what he wanted. And, he was extremely rude to her about it, and she's just tired of it. She says one thing about it, and, Caleb's trying to defend her, and, basically, Devin thinks it comes across as betraying his alliance. Like, seriously, Devin basically says, well, Caleb and Amber, this cannot happen between the two of them, because you see, he needs to be more focused on some of the other alliance members because I want to go to the final two with him, not Amber. It's really his choice who he wants to ally with. He's in the bomb squad. Amber's in the bomb squad. It's fine. Why is that a problem? Amber's in the bomb squad. Caleb's in the bomb squad. Why is it a problem that they're, hooking up and everything? Why is that a problem to you? I don't see a single problem with that. There's nothing wrong with that happening. I have no problem with that. So I don't see why Devin is, so upset about it. Like, he has no reason to be upset about it. He's upset about it because he only is in this game for himself and himself only. And that's really what he's trying to say here. Caleb and Devin, though, they get into a huge fight. Like, literally a huge fight. I could not believe how big the fight was. It was an extremely big, fight. I thought Devin was gonna end up, punching Caleb. That's how big this fight was. I thought, they were gonna end up hitting someone, and I seriously thought that was gonna happen. I know that can't happen, Big Brother, because if you do that, you're kicked out of the house, but I was, it was that intense that I thought someone was gonna get hurt, because it was that intense, and Basically, Devin says to Caleb how, Caleb says to Devin how he's very, misogynistic, which I agree. Devin is misogynistic, and that's because he doesn't let the girls get a say. It's all what the guys want, and even it's not just that he's misogynistic. He's very narcissistic because he's only into himself and he only listens to himself. For example, say Caleb wanted to strategize with him about something and he didn't agree with what he was doing. Because he doesn't agree, boom, he's a target. And we'll talk about that when we get to someone in a second, but that's exactly what Devin is like right now with the Bomb Squad, and I just think that's a total problem. And Devin ends up kicking himself out of the Bomb Squad alliance. Like, what? Like, seriously, he kicked himself out of the Bomb Squad alliance. I was so surprised they did that. I was like, what is he doing? Does he even know what he's getting himself into? Like, I was like, okay, this guy is a wreck. So Caleb wants to try to apologize to Devin about it, and Devin basically says to him, look, I'm fine with all this happening. He's like, I'm fine with, us being friends and everything, but it's not cool that you say that I've said anything bad to women. I've not said anything misogynistic to anyone, and that is a complete lie because, Devin, you know you did it. Just because you don't want to remember it does not mean you did not do it. I don't care if you don't want to remember it. I don't care if you don't remember it. I don't care. You did it, and you know you did it. You know you said things. You know you were talking shit about Brittany. You know you were talking shit about other girls in the house. You were talking shit about Joey last week. Like, does that even ring a bell to you? Last week, Devin was the reason Joey was evicted. In fact, they said they should have gotten rid of Paola because Paola hasn't done a thing in the house. She's done nothing, and Joey could have actually gotten them somewhere. And you know what? I do understand that. I understand why, at first I didn't like Joey, but you know what? Joey was played by Devin. Joey was the first one to be played by Devin, and that's a problem because she was played by Devin, and that's what ended up happening. Now, Devin is being way too truthful, people, and it's really annoying Frankie. Now, I really like Frankie because the thing with Frankie is that he knows how to play Big Brother. You have to lie. He wants Devin to lie. He's tired of him telling the truth, and he wants him to lie. Devin ends up telling, Devin then calls a house meeting. Another house meeting. Like, whoopee, another house meeting. I'm like, why do you keep calling house meetings? It's pointless. Stop calling house meetings. It's, not your decision on when you call a house meeting. It's not a good idea. And seriously, if Devin continues to be in this house, he's going to call, a house meeting every single week, and it's going to be really annoying. And if that happens, then that's going to be, you're going to see me rant like never before. Because honestly, I'm sick of these stupid house meetings. I'm sick of them. Because this one was pointless. This was Devin asking the Bomb Squad their honest opinion about Brittany and Paola. Zach lets out one little comment that he likes Brittany over Paola, and Devin, flips out at him. He flips out. He says, look, you have problems with... Basically, he says, oh, you're a target now. That's what Devin is thinking. He's thinking, okay, so he doesn't want to evict Brittany. He's a target now. I don't care that he's in my lines. He is a target, and I don't trust him. Why wouldn't you trust Zach? I understand, Zach did say maybe a little too much to him about what he thinks of Brittany and everything, but it definitely was very, very crazy there, and that was just very crazy. And from then on, Devin's kind of pissed off at Zach. We didn't know what he was going to do, but he was really pissed off at Zach, so that was definitely a very bad thing, of course. And then what ended up happening was the veto competition happened, of course, and Paola and Brittany really wanted to win this veto competition. By the way, most of this episode we didn't even really focus on the veto competition because most of it was all, them trying to get rid of Devin. The rest of the house right now is completely against Devin, by the way, which I completely understand. If I was in that house, I would not be able to stand him. I would not. I'd be like, I am not talking to you. I'm leaving the room. If Devin were to talk to me, I'd just leave the room. I seriously would. I'd leave the room, and I don't care if he followed me. I'd leave the room and slam the door in his face. I don't care. He is that much of a bastard. He is that much of a narcissist, and I'm tired of him being a narcissist. And no, he is not like Dan. Do not call him Dan. Dan did not do this. Dan had a good strategy. All Dan did was manipulate people. Devin is telling people what to do, and that's not his job. Yet he says he wants to play the game for himself and himself only. Seriously. That's not how you play the game. He's not even playing the game. He's, basically dictating to them what to do. What is this, Big Brother 14 with coaches again? No, that's not what this is. This is where he should play the game for himself and himself only. If he really wants to do that, then do it. Don't worry what the other house guests are doing. Seriously, just because things aren't going your way doesn't mean you need to have a whole hissy fit about it. Like, seriously, he really is. But, of course, in the Power of Veto competition, Devin ends up winning Veto. Woohoo! Yay! I really wanted to see that happen. I was so excited that happened. I was really pissed off when that happened, honestly. Because I'm just like, no, this is not going to work out. And then, all of a sudden, the strangest thing happens. Devin decides to talk to Brittany. And when he talks to Brittany, he all of a sudden tries to tell her, he tells her the truth. And I was really pissed off at him because stop telling people the truth. I agree with Frankie. You need to lie to people if you want to get in this game, if you want to get far in this game. Stop telling the truth. Don't. I don't care if you feel guilty. Stop telling the truth. It's a game. It's a game and nothing more. It's nothing personal. It's a game. Like, seriously, I'm tired of people just telling the truth. I'm really sick of it. And I really agree with Frankie that people need to stop telling the truth. Oh, also, we did find out that other two members of Team America in this episode. I forgot to say that. And they were Frankie and Derek, and I think that was very good. Frankie, Frankie's probably my favorite in the house right now. He is hilarious. He's awesome. He's awesome. Frankie's just awesome. And Derek, too, he has a very good strategy in the game. I think he's a nice guy. I think he's played everyone nicely. He doesn't seem to be malicious or anything. He's a very nice guy, and I'm glad he's on Team America. And the way they figured out who was on Team America was very clever, actually. They asked these questions to them. Frankie and Derek asked Donnie what was his favorite ice cream flavor, things like that. And basically they found out it was Donnie. So now they're working together, and now we have two options on what we want to choose for Team America. The first option is to get two Big Brother house guests to kiss and say that they're in a showmance. Honestly, if I were to do that, I would say Nicole and Hayden, because they are really playful with each other. They really seem like they have a lot of chemistry, and honestly, if people say they're in a showmance, I believe it. I would, because they already seem like they're in a showmance, or just do Caleb and Amber, because there's no proof that they're in a showmance right now, so, I'd say do that as well. But the other option, which is really cool, is basically have someone have to convince the Big Brother house guests that one of the players in the house is the sibling of a former Big Brother contestant. Now, this would be really big because it'd be like, but honestly, I don't like that idea because it'd just be like Alyssa all over again. And as much as I loved Alyssa last year, we don't need to do this again. Option A, I think, is a better option. Option B is good, but it'd just be like a repeat of last season, and I wouldn't be a fan of that. However, option A is really cool. I don't think they've actually done something like that before. They haven't suspected that someone's in a showmance. They've just confirmed that they're in a showmance. But they haven't actually, suspected that people are in a showmance. I think that's cool, and I think it's a cool idea, and I would probably pick option A. I think it's a better idea. But basically, you just text to Big Brother, and that's what you do. Okay. So, then Devin decides to talk to Brittany, and here's where things got really weird, because Devin's talking to Brittany, and all of a sudden, he starts to feel sympathy for her, because she's a single mom, and she has 3 kids, and she's suffering for everyone, and, he starts to feel sympathy for her. But the thing is, then why the hell did you put her up on the block? Seriously, Devin, you knew this from the start. Why the hell did you put her up on the block? I do not understand this. It does not make any sense, and I was really upset with Devin at that point. And then what also ended up happening was Brittany, basically, told Brittany the truth, that Paola threw the HOH, that Paola threw the Battle of the Block competition, and Brittany's furious at him when he says this, and I would be too, because he told Paola to throw it, but he didn't tell Brittany to throw it. Like, seriously, I would feel personally betrayed if someone said that to me, I told this contestant to throw it, but I didn't tell you to because you're the target. And that's a very surprising thing, and I thought that was very big, and I was very, I was very surprised at Devin's actions, and what we did not see is that Devin is starting to fall in love with Brittany. It is extremely lustful. It is not loving or anything. It's all lust. He literally said he wanted to make a baby with her. I'm just I read about this in the live feeds, And Devin has said nothing but sexual comments about Brittany since then, and Brittany doesn't know about any of this, so it is extremely creepy, and just like, Devin is a creeper. He is a creeper. He's not a, he's disgusting, he's a creeper, he's narcissistic. This guy has so many things on his back, like, literally, and none of them are good things. They're really not good things. Then he decides to talk to Zach, and he is mad at Zach, and he has no reason to be mad at Zach. The problem is, Zach tells him, put me on the block. Zach literally says that to him. You know, he is trying to get Devin on his good side, but he accidentally lets it slip, put me on the block, and honestly, that was not the right thing for him to say, because now he's going to be on the block. So, you know, that was definitely not a good thing for him to say. And Frankie, I mean, kind of talked to him about it and said that he should, you know, try to be more mindful about lying. You know, he wants him to be lying. He wants him to lie to Devin and not tell him the truth, basically, and I think that's a good strategy. And I like, you know, one of the best things is that Frankie has had one of the toughest secrets to keep in the whole house. You know, that he's Ariana Grande's brother. He is completely lied about throughout the whole game, and he's a genius at that. Honestly, that's a great strategy. I definitely love Frankie's strategy with that. It's a very good strategy. Definitely a very good strategy. Now, then we get to the biggest part of this episode, but unfortunately it ends on a cliffhanger, and we'll talk about that in a second, but then it's time for the veto competition. Oh, sorry guys. My phone was covering my iPad. That was not good. Okay, so basically, it was time for the veto, not the veto competition, the veto ceremony, I mean. I'm like, veto competition, that just happened. The veto ceremony, and, you know, Devin had the veto and everything, and he basically made Paola and Brittany plead as to why they should be, you know, taken off the block. And honestly, who are you, Julie Chen now? You're not Julie. You're not Julie. Julie decides to say that. You don't get to say when they get to plead their case onto why they choose the veto. Like, that's not the right thing to do. No one's ever done that unless it's double eviction. Unless it's double eviction, that's when they say why they shouldn't be on the block for power veto. If it's not double eviction, they don't do that. That's just how it works. But Brittany says something very big. We find out that Brittany's target is actually Paola, and, very surprising. She says, look, the target to be truthful, if we want to talk about honesty here, the person that I want, you know, the person that is my target is the person that's right next to me. And, you know, everyone's really like, I was so surprised when she said that. I was so surprised. And then he told Zach to go on the block, and then the end of the episode, we see him, the veto ceremony is about to end, but Brittany's like, wait, I want to say something. And then that's how the episode ended. Oh my god, that was like the best cliffhanger in Big Brother history. Now, was that a better cliffhanger than Pretty Little Liars this week? I don't know. I think it kind of was at some point, but I don't know. I think it's like a tie. But, like, seriously, that was amazing. And I can't wait for tomorrow's episode because we're going to see the epic fight. Now, I heard about this fight personally. Let me just tell you guys, it's this bad. There are 5 people who are going to be fighting at once. And we saw some of it. We saw Paola screaming at Brittany probably, because Paola's probably furious at Brittany now. Zach's probably yelling at Devin. You know, Zach's probably yelling at Devin because he, you know, wants to tell him, you know, Devin probably starts up again. You know, he probably starts up. And then the only other person I think that could be yelling, I really don't know who else will be yelling, but I heard there were at least 5. Caleb, I think, is also yelling. Caleb, I think, is the other one that's yelling, because, I think Caleb is yelling because he's really upset with Devin, or Amber's yelling. We don't know. We'll have to see. But, this episode was amazing. It was really intense. I'm sorry this review was so long. This is my I just realized this is my longest review for Big Brother of all time. That's big. But that's because of Devin. That's because of Devin. Because Devin is getting on my nerves, and he needs to get out of the house next week. I don't care. Zach really, if Zach stays tomorrow night, he needs to win that HOH and get him out of the house. Because I would love to see, this would be awesome, honestly. If Zach gets the HOH next week, he will not only be in control of the vote, he will be able to get Devin out of the house. And they said they're not going to put up Devin in nominations. They're going to backdoor him, which is the best thing to do, because that way he can't win power of veto. So basically what they're going to do is they're just going to surprise him right away, and I think that's going to be awesome. well, we just have to make sure it's not like last year where Alyssa wanted to backdoor Amanda, who is not as bad as Devin, by the way. Devin's worse than Amanda, okay? I can't believe I'm saying this, but Devin is worse than Amanda. I cannot believe I'm saying this literally, but I thought Amanda was the worst player last year. No, Devin is the worst player in Big Brother history. He is controlling, he is manipulative, and he needs to get out of the house now. But that's it for my review of Big Brother 16, Episode 7. I know this was quite a long review. I'm sorry. I had a lot to say about this episode because I really thought this was a huge episode. Probably one of the big game changers of the season, definitely. It's going to be very big to see them target Devin because I think pretty much now the bomb squad's going to be targeting Devin because he just targeted his own alliance who he threw himself out of and now he's coming after them. So if they don't do something fast, Devin's going to evict the rest of the bomb squad members. He completely lied to them and they need to get him out. But that's it, my review. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next review, which will be my review for the series premiere of Extent. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.